Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Matt's Geek Corner. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about Konami, and some good, some bad. But when I think about Konami, I think about games like Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, Castlevania, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Contra, and Batman for the SNES. Those games were all a huge part of my childhood, and some of them even continued into my teenage and adult years, until recently when stuff happened with them, and we won't get into that. um but a lot of people don't know that the whole pachinko slot machine thing has been going on for a lot longer than they've been publicly talking about. So they don't know that these slot machines have been around or been getting made for long before recently. But we're not talking about the slot machine today. I'm just throwing that out there that this kind of goes into the story. I'm going to be talking about the recent rumors that Konami is outsourcing some of their IPs to other companies to create possible remakes. Now, there's some good and some bad to this, like I said. For me, it's a good idea because some of these games haven't seen a new title in the series in years. Silent Hill, we haven't seen a new one since Silent Hill Downpour in 2012. Metal Gear, the last one we saw was Metal Gear Survive, and I don't think anybody really played that one. I played a little bit of it. I wasn't a fan. Contra, we recently had a re-release, or not, sorry, a new game, Contra Rogue Ghost or Rogue something. I totally forgot the name, to be honest. But they released that one recently, and that wasn't very good. And the Metal Gear Survive wasn't very good from what I've heard and seen. But we haven't seen a new Castlevania either. I mean, yes, they did release the Castlevania collection, the Contra collection on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, all of those systems. And then they also released the Requiem collection for the PS4, which consisted of Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood, which is basically just a repackage of the PSP Dracula X Chronicles. Those were the two bonus games on that title. But we haven't seen really any major releases on those series in years. The original guy that started a whole Metroidvania Symphony of the Night stuff, he went on to make Bloodstained, and it's a great game, but it's not Castlevania. I'd like to have another Castlevania. Lords of Shadow was good, but I felt too much like it was a God of War or Devil May Cry type game. Fun game, but very much a lot of hack and slash going on there. And the second one wasn't my favorite in the Lords of Shadow series. So it's a good idea to outsource these games, because if Konami's not going to do anything with them, give them to somebody who will appreciate the IP and want to, get it done or work on it. Now, if you ask me, I'd love to see an open world style Castlevania game similar to Red Dead, which, they could give it to Ubisoft and have them do it. Then again, it'd probably end up being a lot like Assassin's Creed. But there's a lot of companies who could make these games, make these games good, make them, a fan service, make them for the fans, not just trying to, get a cash grab or anything by just slapping a name on, random title. Or if you ask me, also, I have talked a lot about it on my streams, which you can check out the Twitch link down below. I've been playing Demon Souls, and I keep telling my friend, if Blue Point was to remake Metal Gear Solid, I would be so happy. I'd be happy if they remade all three games. They wanted to remake Metal Gear Solid 1, Silent Hill 1, because there are those rumors going on that there is a Silent Hill and a Metal Gear remake being developed for the PS5, but there's no concrete details on that. We're not sure if that's even real. Now, usually rumors do come true, but we're not sure right now if that's real. And if Blue Point was to make both of those, I would be so happy. If they wanted to remake or do another Castlevania game, I'd be fine with that too. Like I said, I'd rather the Castlevania game be kind of sort of an open worldish type deal where you can take on side quests. Think of it as well, they did do a 3D Metroidvania with Lament of Innocence and Curse of Darkness. Give us another game like that. Those games were still fun. They were more like Devil May Cry meets Symphony of the Night, so I would be happy playing something like that again. But as for the other two, Metal Gear and Silent Hill, I'd love to see a remake, because right now the only kind of sort of remakes we have for Silent Hill 1 is Shattered Memories, and that is locked into the PS2, PSP, and the Wii. And they have not re-released it anywhere. And as far as the remake for Metal Gear Solid goes, that is also tied to GameCube because of Silicon Knights and Nintendo. We will likely never see that on another system. My thing is, I'm also worried about the whole outsourcing thing. Simply because I saw what happened with the Resident Evil 3 remake. They cut a lot of stuff out of that game. They cut entire sections out of that game. They cut bosses out of that game. And a lot of fans really wanted to see, even if it was just a small minor boss like the Gravedigger, a lot of people wanted to see it. Similar to the alligator in Resident Evil 2. A lot of people wanted to see it, and they're like, well, what's the point? It's just a 2-second boss fight. And they're like, no, you have to throw the out. It's a big part of the game. You have to throw it in there. So they cut it out, and I just felt like the Resident Evil 3 remake was rushed. And that's probably why Capcom came in and said, hey, we're going to pull the team off of the supposed Resident Evil 4 remake, which hasn't even officially been announced yet, to bring in, another team, their main team to work on it. So part of me is worried about the whole outsourcing thing. And that's mainly the reason is, will these teams that work on them be fans of the original games, the original source material, or will they just, willy-nilly do whatever they want and butcher it like they did with that game? Now, if they do, then maybe Konami will rethink the whole outsourcing thing and actually develop games, from their own studio. But the thing with Metal Gear is Kojima's not there, so it's kind of hard for them to make a game without him. Now, keep in mind, if they were to outsource to Blue Point, that is a Sony studio from my understanding, and they very well can just say to Kojima, hey, come over here and work on this remake, because he is part of Sony now with his company. So it makes sense. I think that would be awesome. And as for the other two, if they do a Silent Hill, I want the original music composer to come back. I loved his music in all of those games, except I think the last one he worked on was probably The Room, and that was the last time we heard his music. But I would love to see some of the original teams come back and work on some of these games. Hell, if they wanted to, bring back some of their old IPs that nobody even remembers. I would love to see another Zombies Ain't My Neighbors game. I know there's a spiritual successor being worked on by somebody, but I'd love to see another Konami-made Zombies Ain't My Neighbor game. It'd be so awesome. So that's pretty much all I had to say on that. Let me know what you guys think. If you're excited for this news, if you're on the fence, what do you think about it? Do you think it's going to be true? Do you think it's not going to be true? Let me know down in the comments below. If you're a fan of Metal Gear, Silent Hill, or Castlevania, let's chat. I love all three games, like I said, and I can chat about them all day. If you haven't already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell to be notified when videos go live, share with your friends and family, and as always, guys, I will see y'all in the next episode. Y'all take it easy.